to be on the Invincible.
That was lit. This man right here is a bad man.
We can do some damage on some churros down there.
Yeah!
Welcome to Invincible, the show where we tell the stories of the plays, the players, and the pursuit of becoming invincible both on and off the field. My name is Vince Wolfram, and Week 3 had it all. Wild finishes, statement performances, and the kind of chaos that makes college football the best show on turf. From heavyweight battles to underdog victories, season storylines just got way louder. And I'll tell you what, if you thought September didn't matter, I think this weekend proved that just about every snap from noon to the nightcap games is shaping the road to the championship. This weekend, our crew was all over the board. I was in South Bend for Texas A&M at Notre Dame. And alongside me here, Canyon Sheeran, T&D, my guy. Where in the world of sports, where did sports take you this weekend, Canyon?
So my Saturday started out very normal, mundane, right? I was in my routine. I was in my bag. I went for my run early, went to Dutch Bros, asked this wonderful mom with her son to take a photo of me wearing my Utah Ute shirt because I could not get the timer and the lighting. It was not working for me, okay? So I had this wonderful lady at Dutch Bros. If you're tuning in, I'm telling you, I go to Dutch Bros every Saturday. It's the routine. Can't break it, okay? Well, I'm sticking to my routine, bro. I'm dialed in, locked in on content. I get a phone call, and I'm like, decline. It's game day, dude. I can't answer the phone. Don't be calling me on game day. Don't bother me. I'm locked in. So I'm like, what's up? Hey, man. Well, I didn't answer the phone, so it's actually a text. Hey, man, you want to go to the UFC fight? And I was like, oh, man, I really can't go. I really shouldn't go. It's college football Saturday. I'm really invested. Love T&D. Love you guys. And I was like, I'm going to say no. And then it hit me. I've never been to a UFC fight once in my damn life. And I wanted to go. Okay, I want to go to this no-chest fight. Buenos noches. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to go, dude. I wanted to be dialed into it. And I went, had a damn time. Had the honor of being able to pre-make. I got like a 2-hour heads up. Would have loved to have a little bit bigger of a heads up, right? But it allowed me to make a bunch of graphics that I didn't have to use for teams that lost that I thought would win. Notre Dame being one of those teams. I know you're wearing it. So I pre-made a bunch of graphics. And I was like, I'm going to go have myself a time. And God bless the Frost Bank Center because they had that cell service cooking up in there. It was pretty good. Didn't lose cell service. Still got out content. Had myself a damn Saturday, man. And then, dude, the games were phenomenal. Unless you're a Texas fan. I mean, they looked like a deer in headlights. But it's okay. There's always next week,
Always next week.
I got one more shout out.
Talk to me.
I've got like a 2-minute intro here. I may as well keep it going, right? At this point, I've already told you guys like 16 storylines. And it just started. Shout out the Utah Utes, okay? This is my damn team right now. America's team, okay? If you don't know, you haven't heard yet, if Utah wins the national championship, I will oil up for the Utah Utes. First ever team to send me a package of merchandise. How blessed am I, dude? I mean, I've been doing this since I was 13, and the first team that sent me a package was the Utah Utes. That really shocked me, but I was so blessed and so grateful. So shout out Utah. And that fan base is great, bro. They're fun. They're not like BYU, They're not like, they know how to get down and jiggy with it. So yeah, just shout out the Utes, man. And they look good. Devin Dampier, that team's playing ball. Coach Whittingham, dog. So like, just a team full of dogs. And how can you not be a Utes fan right now? Go Utes.
Amen. They're bringing
you got the floor.
And they knew to hook up a guy who also likes to have fun, and we do it every Monday on this podcast. Great week of college football, like you mentioned, heading into the weekend. Plenty of games to be excited about, plenty to look forward to. I think the highlight of the day, though, came in the SEC. College game day was in Knoxville for Georgia versus Tennessee. And this is one that Tennessee struggled with over the last couple of years, right? They haven't been able to beat Georgia. And what I thought ultimately led to the win in overtime for the Bulldogs in Neyland Stadium was Georgia's ability to just absorb the haymakers, right? Like there was times in this game where Tennessee was really, really making a run. They got up and it was quick plays. And I think 9 minutes with 9 minutes left in the first quarter, it was already 14-7. I just thought the speed of the game early was the first haymaker, but Georgia was just absorbing them and they were going with it. And I felt that that Gunnar Stockton was somebody who showed a lot of cards, showed a lot of what he could do. We know him as the stocky quarterback, the strong-legged quarterback. But he gets the ball after Tennessee scores on their opening drive, and he hits that first fade up the sideline, and you finally see kind of things get going, things that UGA hadn't showed to this point. I mean, to that point, like he hasn't thrown, like his average ball flight time in the air, yards in the air is 5.4 yards in the air per pass attempt. It's 123rd in the FBS. So he showed, in my opinion, the most improvement out of anybody under pressure in the game. I think Stockton, I read he was 9 for 9 with 180 yards when pressured. That's impressive. And the momentum swings in this one were so dramatic. The fourth down throw from the two Humphreys from Stockton, I thought was a big one. Just a lot of plays that really solidified what this kid was about that we hadn't seen so far. But what did you think about this one? I thought Georgia coming out on top is one that I expected, I think, heading into the week, but in dramatic fashion, certainly.
Yeah, I thought this was a really, really good game, right? It's one of those games where an old-style SEC fan would have told you that's bad football, okay, the way those offenses were making those defense look, okay? But in today's era, the SEC fans have grown to appreciate offense, which is cool to see. Shout out to the SEC. We call that growth, okay? Good job, guys. Claps up for the SEC on that one. But no, I really thought this was a phenomenal game, and like you said, I picked Georgia to win this game. I thought Georgia was going to win. I thought their defense was going to be the difference maker in this game. And it wasn't their defense. It was Gunnar Stockton being able to throw the football. I think really what changed this game, and I think anybody will tell you, one of the best throws I've seen a college football quarterback make in quite some time was Gunnar Stockton on fourth and 8, game on the line, down 8 points, to dial that throw up right there, and just drop it right in the bucket, right? Like, and you can't ask for a better play than that if you're a Georgia fan. And I think that was really, really cool because that's, like you said, with Gunnar Stockton, we hadn't seen his ability to really throw the football. Georgia just hadn't really kind of opened up that game plan, and Georgia still wants to be big, bad Georgia, and they want to beat you in time of possession. They want to beat you running the ball. Like, that's what they still want to do, right? But with Gunnar Stockton being able to throw the ball like this, obviously it opens a lot more. And Tennessee forced their hand, right? It was like a card match, right? Like, and it's like playing Uno and you got a +4, and then, oh wait, they don't know I have a +4 too, right? So it was like it felt like one of those matchups right there, in terms of how Georgia was playing that game offensively, because they had to put points on the board, right? And they did so. But yeah, like I said, that 4th and 8 on a throw from Gunnar Stockton was just, that changed the game. I think that at that point, I was like, I think Georgia's going to win this game. And then what really kind of like was like, wow, was how open Branch got on that 2-point conversion. I mean, he was on his own island over there. So come on. I don't know what happened there. Some stats I wanted to throw out that I told Tennessee fans going into the year, Tennessee was ranked, I want to say they're 25 in my preseason rankings. And a big reason was because the amount of talent they had losing on the defensive side of the ball, and just the attrition there, I thought was the lack of attrition, I think, is the right way to phrase that. Sorry, I'm not an English major by no means. Tennessee, I was really worried about their defense, and I think that showcased against Georgia. Last year, they finished number 7 in total defense. For context, Georgia finished 23, and Georgia's defense last year, them dogs are still hell, right? So Tennessee's defense was exceptionally good last year, and obviously this year is kind of messed up to pull the total defense stat this early, but it's still pivotal because of what just happened, right? We're only 3 games in, so it's kind of skewed a little bit. But right now, Tennessee's 105 in FBS and total defense, and they did just give up 500 yards, right? So that plays a massive role. But Tennessee's going to see a lot of offenses like this year, right? Like a lot of really good. You could argue that this might be one of the worst offenses they'll play. So like Tennessee's defense has got to step up, and for context, I mean, Georgia gave up 496 yards, and Georgia's defense and total defense is still 48th in the country. So like if we want to see how big of a fall off Tennessee's really had defensively, it's certainly evidential, and it's there. And that worries me. But I still got to give Tennessee their props, man. They almost snapped the streak. I think it's 8 now, maybe 9 now. They almost snapped the streak. And you got to make those kicks, man. You got to, big time players step up in big time plays, and I think that kick's gonna haunt them. But please don't go spread hate to that kid on social media. I'm sure that kid is more mad at himself than you'll ever be mad at him. And it's just one of those moments where the lights are too bright, dude. Like it's a hard kick, dude. Like there's a lot rolling on that environment.
I don't know if you felt this way too, but for me, it felt kind of like Tennessee iced their own guy, not purposefully, right? Like that sequence from, what was it, the false start through the and that that time wasted in the middle, that felt like an eternity. I can't imagine what that was like for that kicker. And you kind of had a sense, I think, when he stepped up to kick it that I don't know, he might be shaking in his boots a little bit.
You want that guy to just get out there and do his thing. You saw it last year with Bert Auburn and at Texas, right? Like when a timeout got called and Bert Auburn had to go walk over to the sidelines and talk to old Sark, it almost looked like you could tell he was pissing down his pants, right? But for Max, I thought Max was gonna make it. He's a good kicker. I thought he had it in him. But like I said, that's a hard kick, and it's in Georgia Honstadt Stadium right now, right? Like that stadium's got bad vibes when Georgia comes to town. Like this is the first time Georgia hasn't won by double digits there in quite a while. I think I want to say it's been like quite some time since Georgia hasn't won by double digits in Knoxville. That stat could be wrong, but it feels right. I feel like Tennessee's actually battled closer at Georgia than they have at home against Georgia for some odd reason. But yeah, just shout out Tennessee. Joey Aguilar looked good, but for Joey Aguilar, I want to call him Joey Swagular. I mean, can't lose the turnover battle, which they technically didn't lose the turnover battle. It was even, but they lost time possession really bad. Lost time possession by 11 minutes. They got outrushed for about 50, 60 yards. Can't let that happen. And they got outgained in total yards. They were also only 5 for 12 on third down. You don't ever want to really see that. Didn't go for it once on fourth down. When you're playing a team like Georgia, sometimes you have to put your money where your mouth is, and you got to go for it on fourth down, whereas Georgia was 2 for 2 on fourth. Kind of game changers there. They were also 8 for 17 on third down, which is really good. And I think one of the coolest things for Georgia, you mentioned it earlier, their yards per pass was 9.5. That's really high for them. Whereas Tennessee, which their yards per pass is usually long because they run a lot of goes, was only 10.3, so only 0.8 more. So I think that was just really the key there. And then penalties, man, kind of Tennessee started shooting themselves in the foot. You can't have 10 penalties for 82 yards and you want to upset a team like Georgia. They're just too well coached. They play way too good of ball. I thought Branch really impressed me. I think it's been a really good transfer pool for them at the wide receiver spot. And then C.J. Allen defensively, absolute dog. Arian Carter for Tennessee was an absolute dog. So yeah, just a really, really good game. I would be also doing a discredit if I didn't shout out Chris Cole. I think he had a sack and a TFL. So, I mean, it's just a really good game. I don't think it's a knock on either. I think both these teams could make some noise this year. But what I'm really interested in is how does Tennessee bounce back from this loss? Because it's like, you just gave it your all, like that's, that was the best ball they might play all year, which you don't hope is the case, right? But that might be the best ball they play all year, and they still lost at home too. But shout out Knoxville. That place was damn rocking. They showed out for game day. Knoxville's in a great environment. I think it's a top 5 environment in college football, bar none. Gets super, super loud, super ruckus. It's way louder than the stadium we're about to talk about, who lost at home as well. But yeah, shout out Knoxville. They had themselves a time. That defense has got to get better. Georgia fans, celebrate, rejoice. Them dogs is still hell, but that defense, I would not want to be a Georgia defender right now, because practice this week with Kirby Smart might be the definition of a nightmare. They will be probably throwing up. They will not be having a good week. It is going to be hell, and I will not be surprised if you're on the Georgia campus if you hear Kirby Smart cussing out his defense this week from practice, because sometimes it happens, and it wouldn't surprise me if you hear it this week.
I want to shout out the Tennessee fans too, because they're unreal. Like, you could tell the energy in that place was absolutely live. And why I feel for them is because it seems like every time they're right there, they're sunburned, they're voiceless. You covered the spread, but you didn't win. It's like, unfortunately, it's what the Vol fans have lived with and lived in, right? Like, we've seen this time and time again. And I think too, it's like Georgia, they doubled up in time of possession. The running game turned it up. It was kind of demanded of them. Like, that's how they were going to win. And I think by the end, especially in overtime, on Georgia's drive in overtime, the defensive front from Tennessee was just worn down. And I think a lot of it was that running game. But I also thought Tennessee's defense was just maybe even a little over aggressive. A lot of cover zero looks, which allowed for some shallow pass plays, and also for Georgia's wide receivers to beat the Tennessee defenders deep. There was a lot of eyes on the run game, which kind of distracted those defensive backs and let Georgia explode for big plays, which we haven't seen a lot of. I thought that was a big thing. And I think for Aguilar, I think he still has things to work on. There was throws he made. I think one was a couple minutes before halftime. He threw into the double coverage, and it was a bad play. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I think in a way it could be looked upon in a couple weeks as a win for both programs. I think it's one that can help Georgia take off and really kickstart that narrative again that Georgia's the big bad guy. And a little bit of it, I think this team is trending in the positive direction because I think they embody the energy that Kirby Smart exudes. And because Kirby Smart, he's crazy in the games where Georgia should win. That's what I've noticed, at least, right? Like, he's going nuts in the games when they're ahead. When it's a game where it's a close one, he's projecting a more calm demeanor. I think we saw that on the sidelines in this one. He's only wild when he has to because it appeared that Georgia was pretty steadfast. They were staying calm. They were staying poised. They were staying in it, leaning on the run, but it felt like they were in control versus big, mad, aggressive Kirby, which I thought is a good thing. It shows maturity from his team.
Yeah. He's very Nick Saban-esque, like sometimes on the sidelines, and then sometimes he's also Nick Saban-esque, like with the way he can get in your face and grill you. Phenomenal game. And I was just really impressed. I think both teams really did impress me. I just really worried about Tennessee's defense, just because to give up that many explosives to UGA just seems kind of ridiculous. And I did want to make it a point too, like explosives win you ball games. Teams who have more explosive plays usually win a lot more games. Prime S, go look at 2019 LSU and look at how many 20-plus yard plays they had. It changes the game, changes the dynamic. Look at Tennessee and their rise with Hupel. Those explosive plays are game changers. Any play over 20, 30 yards can completely flip the field and change the game. So you got to hit on the explosives, and both teams throw on the explosives this game. So it's not like you can't say one did the other, but one just didn't take advantage when they needed to. I thought after that strip sack, Tennessee was definitely going to win, and they did not. So, I mean, it happens, but hell of a game. And how can you not love college football, bro? You're watching this game, and it's just like, what? It's cinema, beautiful.
Seriously, yeah, it was a great one. Certainly one I think that maybe we might see these teams competing against each other, maybe even down the line in this season. So a good one down there in Knoxville. Now let's head up a couple of states, right? Through Tennessee, up through Kentucky, to the great state of Indiana. Notre Dame welcomed Texas A&M, the Aggies, to Notre Dame Stadium on a 7:30 kickoff on Saturday night. And I was there. It was a fantastic environment. I want to shout out the Texas A&M fans because I don't know that I've seen a Notre Dame home game have that many opposing fans in a long time. It was there. I mean, you could hear the gigums, the yell leaders. You could hear them. They were active. So shout out to the Texas A&M fans for making the trip up to South Bend. I guess they're lucky too because it's not deathly cold yet. So that's a positive for them. But what a game! Two of my favorite coaches in the country, and Mike Elko and Marcus Freeman, in a Week 3 game. Notre Dame coming off a bye week. Texas A&M had some juice, I think, and this was just an offensive battle. Non-stop offense, literally from the jump. First half, I think it was over 40 points scored, definitely over 40 points scored, and I'm over 80 at the end of the game. I want to start with Texas A&M, though, because first of all, I want to note Texas A&M's Bryce Anderson had a scary injury where he hit the deck and he seemed limp right when he hit it and was carried out onto the stretcher and driven off the field, but he did give a thumbs up of encouragement, which was good to see because I was worried about him. It was a long wait until he got off the field. So I'm hoping, I don't know any updates right now, but I'm hoping that he is healthy and will be okay after what was a pretty scary hit. So prayers up to Bryce Anderson. Just a scary situation. But the last time, A&M beat a top 10 team out of conference was in 1979. This was a win that Texas A&M needed. It's a win that Mike Elko, I think, needed. And it's a program confidence build, right? Like, that's a game Texas A&M in previous years under different coaching regimes would not have won. That's the difference with Mike Elko. He brings another element. And this time it was between two main guys, right? Marcel Reed and Mario Craver. Over 180 yards in the first half from Craver, had 7 receptions, 207 yards and a touchdown. Marcel Reed was nonstop, averaged 21.2 yards per completion, which I think was next to impossible if you wanted to do that against Notre Dame over the last couple of years. But the Aggies did it all, and they did it at will. A&M won the game on the outside, which is exactly what Mike Elko said they needed to do heading into this one. And for the backup tight end who caught that game-winning pass in the corner of the end zone, what a play, what a catch, and what a drive.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good, really good game. You mentioned about how like A&M needed this win, and that's not sad, right? Shout out, and also you shout out A&M because traveling well. A&M fans, they're a great fan base. They have hope right now. When A&M fans have hope, that means they can have false hope at the same time. But that is a great thing for the fans in College Station because they're a great fan base. They're rowdy, they're loud, and they travel well. And they're a great fan base. So yeah. Shout out them. But for A&M, like, I mean, yes, this one's monumental, right? You mentioned 1979, but this is more of like a Notre Dame head scratcher, right? Like, because it's like, you let Marcel Reed throw over 360 on you. And Marcel Reed, like, as good, he had his really high moments. His QBR was still below average. It was below an 80. He went only 17 for 37. Like his completion percentage was not high, right?
And he
like,
had open looks that he missed. Like they had 3 touchdowns they left on the board.
Yeah, and you could tell he was they knew they don't trust his arm throwing the ball deep. They throw a lot of intermediate short passes with him, but which was great for them because Mario Craver was making Notre Dame secondary look like a fool after the catch, which is great. But this game really is like. I don't know, Notre Dame fans, head scratcher, shake your head, because you guys couldn't afford to lose this game. Obviously, your chances to make the college football playoff now, I think, dropped today, and they're down to 5.9%. You don't play another ranked team on the schedule. You're going to need things to really go your way, and you're really going to have to play your schedule amazingly and win a lot of games by a lot of points to really boost your resume in that way. Heartbreak in South Bend. Like, I mean, you thought, coming off a bye week, that team would be ready. That defense would play a lot better. I don't know what Chris Ash and I don't know what Marcus Freeman are sitting there doing in defensive meetings, but for 2 defensive-minded guys that have a lot of experience, I don't know what they're really doing. But I did want to say I'd be reminiscent not to mention it, and a lot of officials missed a lot of calls for both games. It was an SEC crew. You cannot miss that holding call up the middle on game-changing play, 4th and goal, time running out. Would have also been a 10-second runoff if the flag was called. So they would have been left with 1 play, 10 more yards out. I think it would have had a 10-second runoff. I think it is. When it's under 2 minutes and there's a flag, it includes on the offense, it is a 10-second runoff. So it's like you got to call that holding because he has a free tackle right on Marcel Reed if he doesn't get tackled. It's like, yeah, that's the most obvious holding I've ever seen. We've got to get that figured out. I don't know. I think I've always said I think referees should also have press conferences after games because I feel like they should have to answer to why they didn't call holding there. I don't know how you missed that blatant of a hold. But if you're Notre Dame at the same point, you can't be like, we lost that game because of that hold. That's not why you lost that game. You lost that game because your defense looked like garbanzo beans. You lost that game like for a multitude of reasons, not just that. Obviously, it is easy to point out that play and be like, that's why we lost. That's not why you lost. You lost because you gave up 488 total yards, right? You lost because I box score watch this game and I look at it. It doesn't make like sense to me. Like A&M was 4 for 11 on 3rd down. Like Notre Dame was 7 for 15. Like I don't know really. Like the turnover battle was even. A&M had way more penalties. Like this is a game that A&M probably shouldn't have won, and they still went in there and found a way to win. That's just really gritty. This is an A&M team that I had ranked in my preseason rankings. At like 15 to start the year, people were like, what are you doing, TND? You don't know ball. And I was like, dude, they return a lot of starters, and I love Mike Elko. Mike Elko's a damn good coach. He knows what he's doing. For Notre Dame, I mean, head-scratching game. Le'Veon Moss looked better than Jeremiah Love, by the way. I think I'm going to say that. Le'Veon Moss, really good back. Really good that he's healthy for them and back playing really, really, really good football.
I know you said you box score watch this game. If you want the real breakdown, I'll give it to you right now. Notre Dame, defenseless. Start with the offense. They were fine. -2, really basic mistakes on the snap before the half ended. CJ Carr clapped out of frustration. Ball was snapped on 4th down. Texas A&M gets the ball, gets a chance at a field goal. And somebody was at the grotto talking to Touchdown Jesus, praying that A&M didn't score. Luckily, that didn't happen. Somewhere, John Gruden is like saying, I told you so about the clap cadences. I mean, sheesh. And then 2, Tyler Buckner obviously bobbles the snap on the hold, throws the ball in the end zone to nobody, misses out on the extra point that scoreboard-wise technically costs the Irish the game, right? They go up 40-34. A&M scores 41-40. Could have been a tie game if they made the field goal. Those are the two plays on offense. Jadarian Price, I thought he was the best running back on the field, the Notre Dame backup. The most efficient runner for A&M or Notre Dame. 5.7 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. As much as the Fighting Irish, I thought, needed to get Jeremiah Love involved, like I was screaming at my TV for, like, get this guy the ball, right? Like in the Miami game, it was like they didn't even acknowledge that the guy was a star and on the roster. As much as they needed to get involved, and they did by the end, right? Price, I thought, was super vital. Jeremiah Love, Price, 39 total touches together, 215 yards, 4 touchdowns. Big day on the ground for Notre Dame. However, losing with that output from those two players can't happen. CJ Carr, I thought, was promising, right? 20 for 32 with 293 and 2 scores. It's promising. He's a freshman. You got to acknowledge that that's a pretty good game from that kid. Defense. Notre Dame defense. Wow. I have not seen a Notre Dame defense struggle that bad since 2013 national championship game against Alabama. It was bad. And defenseless is the word I'm going to put with it, because it felt like they couldn't do right all game. And I think Irish fans, as I've seen online, really, really miss Al Golden. Al Golden never allowed 40-plus points during his 3 years at Notre Dame. Now let's talk about defensive coordinator Chris Ash. You brought it up. And I want to bring up some of this too, because when he was hired, I noted a couple of things, right? At Arkansas, his team was the 3rd worst defense in the SEC in 2013. Allowed 30 points per game. At Texas, led a Horns defense to the 4th worst in the defense in the Big 12, 27 points allowed in 2020. Head coach at Rutgers, he was 8-32. Ohio State in 2014, he won a national championship, which is fantastic. As the co-defensive coordinator, and the other co-defensive coordinator was Luke Fickell, who's now the head coach at Wisconsin. Notre Dame's defense is currently allowing 32.5 points per game. That rarely happens for a South Bend defense. And realistically, Notre Dame is 5 points away from being a top 5 team in the country, right? Miami, couple of points. A&M is 1 point. Simple mistakes. I think they got to get it figured out. And I know you said it's a tough road ahead, and it certainly is, but I don't think it's over for Notre Dame. I know there was certainly fans leaving the stadium, and you get a kick out of some of the stuff that they were saying. It's over. I'm never coming back to a game. The typical sad fan stuff, right?
I don't want to tell you that it's over because I'm breaking your little Notre Dame heart, but like.
No, I'm coming at this completely
saying
straight up, right? Like, okay, I want you to play the
reason,
football guess this team. You ready? Who lost a close game on the road to a good opponent, lost a heartbreaker at home, finished 10-2, didn't play a conference championship, made the playoff, and won the Natty?
Yeah, it's just hard to reward teams that don't play in a conference championship. Right now, your hope is that USC stays ranked.
Ohio State did it last year.
I think the pass really hard. There's a reason why the odds are low, but you guys need to shake out stuff to shake out your way. One thing that didn't shake out your way was Pitt lost. You guys would have liked if Pitt could have stayed
the hardest
winning.
Game is Arkansas, and I don't think that's
Arkansas
without a doubt.
Arkansas is going to be a good game. That's on the road.
If they lose that, it's over.
Yeah, it's over. You can't lose to USC. And who knows? Maybe Navy will be ranked. You know, Blake Horvath. I don't know what they're really up to this year so far. They should be 3-0. They are 3-0. So maybe Navy will be cooking. They were ranked last year when y'all played them. So maybe you'll get some. Yeah. You need some help.
Yeah.
You need the teams that you have left remaining on the schedule to be good, because the better they do, the more your schedule boosts. And yeah, I think right now is one of those times where Notre Dame not being in a conference hurts them. Being independent is great. They get a lot of money from NBC. That contract's amazing. This is where it's like, hey, being in a conference would really help, because you go, undefeated in your conference, and then you go make the conference championship. You win that game, you're automatically in. So, yeah.
And I agree. And I think they're going to be hard-pressed to do it, because honestly, I think that Arkansas game might be one that they drop realistically. First time any Notre Dame football head coach in history, meaning Marcus Freeman, has started 2 seasons under the helm as head coach 0-2. I think that was an interesting stat I didn't expect. But no, I'm with you, and I think it'll be very, very difficult for Notre Dame to get in that playoff picture. I don't know that I see it necessarily, because I think they're a team that goes 9-3 or 8-4 and makes a bowl game. I don't think they're a playoff team, where there is Irish fans that have that hope.
One thing I want to say before we move on to the next game. Did not know Tyler Booster still played football. So he's been playing football for like 7 damn years now. Way to pull Tony Romo, dude. But also don't send hate his way, dude. Like, They didn't lose the game just because that guy. Okay, blame your defense. I know I've been seeing him get so much hate on social media, and I hate that. Did not know he still played football. Thought he stopped playing football and played blacks now. I guess I don't know ball enough. But yeah, don't be going to his social. Just like I said to the Tennessee kicker, there's no point. And just spreading unnecessary hate. Choose love. There's enough people hating in the world. Don't be the hater that they know. Okay, like these athletes, I don't think you guys understand. Like they know when they mess up more than you'll ever know they mess up. They're mad at themselves more than you can ever be mad at them for. And so like take that into account before you go comment some BS. If you're going to comment anything, maybe you'll comment something positive, be a little difference maker instead of being the average person that goes and comments something hateful on them.
Amen to that. And I think too for A&M a big future. Obviously, Auburn coming up in a couple of weeks, I think will be a big test for them. I'm curious to see how they are. But that's honestly a team I like their swagger. So a team on the come up under Mike Elko for certain. Now let's head down to Atlanta. The Wramblin Wreck.
I'm so ATL.
So ATL, check up.
I'm so ATL.
This one had, I think, upset written all over it, right? A struggling Clemson, an identityless Clemson who is figuring it out. Troy, a weird week. LSU, a loss. Just an interesting couple of weeks for this team that was ranked number 1 in a lot of preseason rankings. And Georgia Tech, they won because Hayes King was the best quarterback on the field. Wasn't even 100%, but he is a hard pinata to crack, right? Like he's going to be tough to take down. Georgia Tech up 13. Clemson charges all the way back. They take the lead. Aiden Burr, no timeouts from 55 yards, a field goal to win it. Largest field goal winning kick in Georgia Tech's football history. How in the world did this happen?
Yeah, Haynes King, DAWG. I had the honor of meeting Haynes King a few years back, and it was a very awkward meeting of him. I hope he didn't follow T&D when he was at Texas A&M, because I definitely was not the nicest to him back in the day. His throwing motion was really weird, but that was Jimbo Fisher's fault. It wasn't Haynes King's fault, and that's been very evidentially obvious with the way he's been playing ball in Brent Key's system at Georgia Tech. So Haynes King, DAWG, dog. There's guys that just want it. They just have grit. They got moxie. Like we talked about John Mateer's moxie. Dude, Haynes King might have more. Okay, he might break the moxie scale. Okay, like the way you watched this like a little thing during college game day. It was like, dude, he just like they were hyping it up, and deservedly so. He's sitting there just like having fun. I wish he would have hit the crossbar for 100K to a charity. That would have been cool. But like, come on, he didn't need to hit the crossbar because he was hitting the crossbar against Clemson's defense all game. 20 for 28, 211 yards. Not a touchdown pass, but why throw a touchdown pass when you can run for one and run for 100 plus on the ground as well? So like he's a dog, man, and this Georgia Tech team, they're gritty. Man, they're gritty, and I think the difference maker in this game is people have figured out Clemson right now. I don't know if Dabo hasn't figured this out, that people have figured him out, but they figured him out. Like, so Clemson returned the most starters in college football. Okay, and don't get me wrong, that front seven defensively is phenomenal. Okay, like they've got talent, right? That front seven is really good. The starting front seven, but teams have figured out if they can tire and wear down that front seven, and they can get past those starters. It's free. It's barbecue chicken alert after that, because Clemson doesn't use the portal like an average team uses the portal in 2025. So they lose out the benefit of that. And doing that, like they ended up losing games because of stuff like that. And when you look at it, I mean, they had 2 turnovers. Cade Klubnik had a beautiful RPO pool, and then tries to go, Lamar Jackson on him, Josh Allen on him, and fumbles. Like, I don't know what he's doing there. Take your yards. You got 8 or 9, and I don't know what happened there. But I mean, if I picked this upset, it was one of my hot takes. I didn't even think it should have been a hot take, but it's a number 12 ranked team. You made a joke. Oh, some people had them number 1. Yeah, I was one of the people that had them number 1. I was clickbaited, bamboozled, fooled. I was led astray. I was a mockingbird on, I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry. I was a spreader of false news, and it wasn't like I didn't think Dabo was washed, but I'm officially going to say I think Dabo is washed. Until Dabo correctly utilizes the portal, I said it against LSU a few weeks ago. And it's becoming so evidential. And, like, their receivers, dude, I don't know, like, drops, Wesco, like, they got to figure, like, dude, I don't know what their problem is. Like, they're disciplined. They don't get many flags. They can't lose they lost time of possession. They had 2 turnovers. You win the turnover battle, you usually win the game, right? And Georgia Tech won the turnover battle. Did what they needed to do. They were efficient on 3rd down. They held Georgia Tech to 0 for 2 on 4th down. And they still lost. Cade Klubnik, right now, dude, you were the 3rd highest Heisman odds going into the season. there's 2 guys right now, 3 guys, 4. A lot of quarterbacks that had a lot of hype going into this year that have been. But Kate Klubnik is certainly one of them. I don't know what his problem is. He needs to, like, I mean, he's probably like a day 3 draft pick right now with the way he's playing football. Just genuinely, like, he could have easily worked himself into the early rounds, and now he's working himself lower, maybe even undrafted at this point. With the way he's playing football, I don't know. Clemson, Dabo, Wash defense just gets tired out there. It's very evidential. They don't have enough depth. They needed depth in the portal. They didn't address it. They brought in a few, not enough. And I think that and Dabo knew like they were gonna have like they brought in an edge transfer from Purdue that was pretty damn good. Like they knew that they needed more depth on the D line, but in Dabo's hard mind, he think, oh, I only need one. One's gonna be no. So just really disappointing for Clemson fans. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. Your program is in dismay. It's after a die, man. It's natural selection. Okay, like if you don't adapt, you die. Okay, and Dabo, I had Clemson number 1, and one of the reasons too was Dabo. I believed in Dabo. He's a coach that has proven. I think he still is the most proven coach in college football. Okay, you can argue Kirby Smart if you want, but I'm still going to go with Dabo until further notice. I need Kirby to win a few more, but like a little bit more, a longer longevity for better wording. But right now, I mean, if you ask me today who the best coach in college football is, I'm telling you Kirby Smart, not Dabo Swinney. Right, my opinion is flipped just because of the way Dabo is not using the portal, and you're seeing it hurt teams, and then you're seeing it uberly benefit teams like LSU, whose defense is phenomenal because of the transfer talent they got in, because of the depth they have, and it's just Texas's defense because of the transfer talent they brought in, because of the depth they have on their D line. They can rotate 3 guys out there. The best college football programs. I don't know if you guys, if it's not clicking yet, Dabo. If it's not clicking, turn on the film of a Georgia game. Turn on the film of a Texas game. Turn on the film of an Ohio State game. Turn on the film of the best D lines in the country, and you're going to see one thing: a crap ton of rotational depth on their defensive line. Okay, those D-lines rotate. They keep those guys fresh, and Clemson doesn't have the depth to do it. And the thing is, too, Clemson, you're not the glitz and the glam anymore, okay? Your little slide facility, that doesn't sell anymore, okay? Like, you're not winning national championships anymore, so your slide isn't as cool, okay? You're not even competing for one anymore, okay? You're going to Austin, Texas, and getting blood out of the water, right? Like, so, like, I don't know. Clemson, you guys, program needs some help. Call Post Malone. He's got a song about it. I had some help. But geez, you guys need some help in that program. I'm sorry. That is bad. Shout out. Oh, but as much as I just roasted Clemson, shout out Georgia Tech, Brent Key, dog. Bunch of rosters of dogs. Haynes King, dog. Jamal Haynes, dog. Who else do I got to shout out from that team? Clayton Powell Lee, dog. I feel like that's all the shout outs I really need. Jamal Haynes, though, he is a dog. Haynes King, double DAWG. Like I said, he gets to spell it out when you say his name, just because he's just that good. Eric Rivers had a good game. So yeah, shout out Georgia Tech. Clemson, though, shambles. That program needs life alert right now. Stat.
The best part for Georgia Tech, right, is the hard part of their schedule is past. It's a dog walk kind of the rest of the way. No, and until Georgia, right? No Florida State, no Miami. This was the biggest game until they have Georgia down the line. So Georgia Tech with a good fiery win here at Clemson, against Clemson, with pretty easy games to come. So a good one for Georgia Tech. And I'm curious too, and you can answer this quick. You can go into detail. Why? Honestly, asking this with the Dabo thing, why is he the most? What do you call him? The most proven?
Yeah.
Why is that? Like, because I think that's a thing that maybe fans are curious about too, because they might think that, but there is Kirby, there's Ryan Day, there's Sark, there's Dan Lanning, there's James Franklin. Why is it Dabo for you?
Yeah, Dabo just has longevity to be able to sustain a culture and a winning culture at that program. Like Kirby Smart, like what he's been able to do, and what Dabo really built Clemson from, right? I think it's something I think. In fact, Kirby Smart, what he's done, I mean, he's right there, right? There's a guy that's number 2. It's Kirby Smart. Ryan Day, he's still got a leap to go for me. I mean, he's down further, not even in a hatred way, but Ryan Day inherited a really, 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 really good program. He kind of inherited what Kalen DeBoer walked into, but even better, right? So he's just got to coast that. But Ryan Day is going to keep doing his thing, and Ryan Day is going to slowly work his way up their longevity and proving that. And I think one thing with Dabo, too, is his sustainability to keep staff members is a huge thing that I've really appreciated with Dabo. People love working with him. So I give him that. Look at his record, dude. Clemson hadn't lost a home game in like 49 games in a row. T-Law, I think that just what he was able to do for that stretch and the Bryant and all that, the Watson years, like he's still my number one. But obviously right now, no, dude, I'm putting the way he's coaching the game right now is really sad. It's not good for the sport. He's not benefiting his players. He's hurting his players. He's hurting their draft stock. He needs to bring in the talent that he know he can get. Clemson can afford it. Clemson boosters are willing to spend it. And if they're willing to spend it, all that money on Tom Allen, like I said once, they're willing to spend all that money on a defensive coordinator, but then refuse to spend it on getting talent in the portal. I don't get it. Okay, it makes no logical sense. There's no if there's still like because even Kirby Smart can go address his issues. He went and got Branch from USC, 5-star guy. They had to pay a lot of money, but they needed a wide receiver. That was a game changer.
And that's the name of the game. You got to pay the money.
He changed the game. Damn right. And he changed the game for them, and they won that game. So sometimes, I don't know. I think, obviously going into the year, Dabo was my number one. I think right now it's probably Flitz, probably Kirby. And then Ryan Day might have even jumped Dabo the way Dabo's coaching football right now.
Yeah, that was just a curious one, and I think your answer is good there. And I think it helps college football fans kind of realize, too, maybe not taking the current Clemson climate into account as much as the history that they've produced over the last 15 years and just how impressive it is. But adjustment in the transfer portal and recruiting, I think, is needed. An adjustment that was needed in the depths of Florida this weekend was something by the name of defense for USF, because 49-12, Miami routed the 2-0 South Florida Bulls. I mean, Carson Beck, he is a decorated veteran, I think, of college football right now. He's so experienced. There's a level of poise that I don't think is widespread across the country for a quarterback. I think how he maybe underestimated himself and underplayed last year at Georgia, maybe to his own expectation, really did fire him up and gave him stuff to improve on, a level to excel to in this offseason. And I think you're seeing that right now. 2 picks, both to me not troubling, right? Like a deflections, those kind of things. I'm not worried about those for Carson Beck. Miami, they had Byron Brown in the depths. Like they made him have a very, very tough night, I thought. And that Miami has dudes. Like UCF had 4th and 2, and I'm sitting there watching it on my phone like, Lord knows they're not about to run up the middle, are they? Like, please, Bulls, come on.
Yeah.
Please don't do that. Don't run up the middle. Sure enough, no shot. None of that at all. 8 Hurricanes right there. Miami, I think they looked the part.
Dude, Miami's physical, dude. I was trying to, one of my buddies, as soon as I posted USF getting like blown out as one of my hot takes this week, he texted me and he's like, hey, dude, that's a lot of points. And I was like, hey, dude, Miami is just going to out physical with them. Okay. Like, and that is what happened. It was we are better than you. We know we're better than you. We're not the little bro that in Gainesville. Okay. We're not Gainesville. We're not soft. We don't play uninspired football. We play inspired football. They've got a great coach in Mario Cristobal. I think he was former like FBI at one point or something. That dude's a dog. Okay. Coach understands, like he knows what he's doing. And I'm sure players will tell you some crazy stuff. Carson Beck obviously had some turnovers, but nothing that killed them, hurt him. But Carson Beck just has some moxie. The players love him. You can tell he's kind of got that locker room right now, which is what you really want from him. And overall, I was really impressed with Miami, and they're just so physical on their front defensively and on their offensive line. They just dominate you. They're just going to out physical you. I think they might have the best offensive line in the country. We can go talk to Pro Football PFF about where they've got them ranked, but I would say they're one of the top 3 offensive lines in the country, undoubtedly. Mark Fletcher, really, really good game. 120 on the ground, impressive. Like you already mentioned Beck's stats, and that team's got a bunch of dogs. Their wide receivers are all stepping up. They have a very healthy wide receiving core, a lot of depth there. I mean, you see guys getting 2, 4, 3, 2, 6, 6. There's a lot of sharing the love there. Bain is filthy. One of the best defenders in college football, if not the best edge rusher. I think he is the best edge in college football. I don't know if there's really debate there. The way Bain's been able to change games. And their defense, they're playing good, man. They're playing fun ball, inspired football, which is really cool to see. For USF, still really great start to the year. Started off with 2 ranked wins. Nothing to really hang your head on. You just knew at one point, it wasn't, Teslas are good. Like the new thing, they're great, okay? But they're on a battery system, okay? And sometimes that battery runs out, okay? And you got to go charge it up again. And that battery ran out, and they didn't have his Tesla supercharger near them. They had the regular charger, and they needed a supercharger, and they didn't have that. So the battery ran out, and Byron Brown, that defense had Byron Brown seeing ghosts like I predicted that would happen. Shout out Chaz Nimrod, though, still had himself a game, the Tennessee transfer over there, doing really well, doing really cool things. But yeah, USF just kind of ran out of gas there. Ran out of electricity, for better wording, since we used the battery analogy.
Good call.
But yeah, Miami's really good, dude. I'm going to, if anybody's watching this, I have my top 10, my top 25 will not be posted yet. But Miami is going to jump to number 2 in my rankings. And I'm really debating I'm potentially putting them at 1 just because their resume right now. But Notre Dame losing has me I'm kind of iffy there. Just really impressive.
Yeah, I think Miami, they're so good, I think, up front on both sides. That's what makes them the most dangerous. The fronts are just tough. They're strong, they're big, they're tough. And when you have that mixed with a veteran quarterback and a guy like that wide receiver they have, who I think is so tough. There's a name, but why did it just escape me? Malachi Tony. He's I've just been super impressed with him so far and the connection he's built with Carson Beck. But a good one for Miami, 49-12. Let's head down. Vandy, South Carolina was one that I think we had our eyes on heading into the weekend as well, right? Beamer ball versus Diego Pavia, a date with his mother on the line, right? A big time win for Vandy. Obviously, you hate to see what happened to South Carolina and Lenora Sellers leaving the game early. That's a hard position to be put in, especially against a tough, hard-nosed team like Vandy. That was tough, and had he been in the game, maybe it was different, but I think I still would have had Vandy. I'm a Pavia believer, so to see Diego 18 of 25, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns. He controlled this game. They snapped a 16-game losing streak to the Gamecocks in this one. What did you see from Vanderbilt, and what were you surprised by with South Carolina? Because I think a lot of people had them pretty high. We're pretty high on them, and then heading into this week, it was obviously Sellers goes down, but still just a big old win for Vanderbilt.
So yeah, comparative reasoning in college football doesn't usually work, but when you have comparative reasoning like we talked about last week when I said this is a spread to keep your eye on because of the Virginia Tech comparison, Vandy went to Virginia Tech and depleted them, right? And then South Carolina played Virginia Tech in Atlanta, where it's basically a home game for South Carolina, and Virginia Tech stayed the ball game the whole game, right? That was kind of like an early indication that, like, wow, Vandy's probably gonna win this ball game, right? And this Vegas knew they had the trap spread there for a reason, and that spread only kept getting lower and lower throughout the week. Vandy's just dominated them. Sellers getting hurt. You hate to see that. It's not good for the sport. Sellers a really good ball player, and we need him in college football, but they just got dominated out physical. That Williams-Brice was empty in the fourth quarter. That's crazy. They went out there and emptied Williams-Brice Stadium, which is insane. That was uninspired football from South Carolina. Not a good way to rally around Luke Doty. I don't think Luke Doty even played horrible. I just don't think that team looked like they didn't play like they came in there to win. And Vanderbilt came in there like, hey, we're Vandy. We did a lot of talking on that Netflix special, and I'm going to show you why we did all that talking on that Netflix special, right? And Diego Pavia just one of those cool, like, beautiful ass stories in college football. Sorry for the cuss word, to be frank, but like, dude, he makes college football special. Okay, like we've got Theo Vaughn going to South Carolina games now, right? Like we've got like the audience, the pool there is just so good, and Vanderbilt. And Nashville is such a big city, and it's such an exploding city in terms of sports media right now that like Vanderbilt being good at football just makes sense. And that crowd buys in. If you haven't seen Vandy home games, people show up now, which is just really cool. So that was a good game for Vandy. Horrible game for South Carolina.
I think Vandy looks much improved on offense, especially than typical Vandy teams like we've seen. They've got a solid balance, I think, of run and pass, something that they've had some trouble with in the past. I thought that was good to see from them. And the defense, they're salty too, right? They're tough. They were able to get pretty consistent pressure in the backfield, 4-man front, forced 2 interceptions and a fumble. So overall, I thought it was a pretty good day for Vanderbilt heading into another week, right? So
one more thing on the Vandy game.
Yeah.
Clark Lee, dog, defensive-minded guy. He had his defense playing right. Vandy dominated time possession, time possession, win the turnover battle, which they won 4-1. By the way, you usually win the damn game, and they did. So shout out Vandy, bunch of dogs.
Let's talk about Pittsburgh, West Virginia, right? Overtime win. We had a couple of those in college football this weekend. The Mountaineers of Morgantown. A big one. Rivalry dating back to 1865. This one was a pretty good rendition.
Yeah, just one of those things where, for West Virginia, they didn't have their best player, their running back. He was out in this game, got hurt last week. And what a showcasing from Nico, their quarterback. He's in his first year starting over there. Threw for 19 to 25, 192 yards and a touchdown. So he kind of did his thing. And that team as a whole, they played inspired football. It was so rich rod for them to go win this game against a Pitt team that people thought was a sleeper team. A lot of people had them like somehow sneaking their way into the playoff, right? And West Virginia just came up with a loss too. Ohio, not the Ohio State, Ohio, the Bobcats, okay? And to show up inspired, great for college football. They started blaring "Country Roads, Take Me Home" as soon as they won, right? As soon as and Rich Rod, I'm gonna post it on TND, but his interview, just God bless West Virginia. Love this state. We need this win. He's the type of coach West Virginia needed, and damn right, I'm happy they won this game. College football is better when West Virginia is good. I will live and die on that hill, and I want to see Nico do well. Shout out Nico. He follows TND. If you guys aren't rocking with Nico, you need to be rocking with Nico. So, go Mountaineers. Did we touch on LSU Florida at all?
No, we did not, but we can. I thought that was an interesting game because Florida didn't do anything to actively embarrass themselves or shoot themselves in the foot. I thought it was just a relatively bad game. I hate to see Brian Kelly get decked the way he did for the second straight week on the sideline. DJ Lagway wasn't impressive to me. LSU offense managed to pull it out. LSU defense was impressive. That's what I thought of that one.
Yeah, all I got to say about this one is, can we stop calling DJ Lagway one of the most talented quarterbacks in college football off of straight potential? They did it on game day. Desmond Howard, don't sit up there and say, oh, I love DJ Lagway, one of the best young quarterbacks in college. No, he has never, not once, showed us he's one of the best quarterbacks in college football. The only thing he's doing that's one of the best in college football is getting his paycheck. Okay, he's making an absolute bag. That's about all he's proven. 5 interceptions is ridiculous. Okay, and I don't know what the excuse is. Blame it on play calling, which your head coach, Billy Napier, that you hired, won't give it up. I get it. Bearing, LSU's defense, really, really good. But five of them. He has the same amount of interceptions as DJ Lagway had the whole last season. Let that sit in. DJ Lagway has thrown the same amount of picks through, 3 weeks of football that DJ Ugalele threw all last year at Florida State. Like, what?
Yeah, that ain't good.
It's just not good ball, man. Florida just does not play a fun brand of football right now. I don't know how Billy Napier's still employed. Once again, I don't know why I'd say this again this week. I thought they were going to leave him in Baton Rouge, okay? I thought he was going to have to go call in Baton Rouge from the Baton Rouge private airport and not have a flight home. They gave him a flight home. I don't know what. Florida's cooked. But shout out LSU. That defense is so good. Blake Baker, year 2. That defense is special. That's a national championship level defense. That offense needs to wakey. But Brian Kelly stood on business in the after game in his post game comments, and I loved that. Brian Kelly just has a little bit of a different vibe around him. Now that he's in BR, he's kind of he's not faking a Southern draw anymore. He's just being Brian Kelly, but he's also picking up some Southern tendencies in terms of he's going to be a nice guy, but he'll also call you out in your BS, which he couldn't really do at Notre Dame because you got to not there's nothing wrong with that. Praise Jesus. Damn right. Love the Lord. But you can't do that at Notre Dame. You can do that at LSU because those fans are saying the same thing about you online, in person. So the shout out LSU. That defense is really good. Blake Baker. And shout out Jack Pyburn, Florida transfer, who transferred over to LSU. Got a lot of hate online from Florida fans. Let me tell you one thing. He left for a reason, and he left to upgrade. He wanted to go to Blake Baker's scheme, to a team that actually knew how to use him. And I think that's shown on the film. Let's
head into the next part of our show, the Poll Patrol, where your fast pass through the top 25. Canyon, you've got the odds today. I've got the evens. Let's run through them. Knock out week 3 of college football, updating your people on all the scores. Let's do it. Start it off.
Number 1, Ohio State. Ohio State beat Ohio. Woo. 37-9. Such a thrilling game. Julian Sayin had 347 yards and 3 touchdown passes. Yay.
Okay, well, let's not overlook the big thing here. After 15 years, Brutus, the Buckeye, finally got revenge on Rufus, the Bobcat. I don't know if you saw that, but a tug of war, 100-yard dash, Brutus regains his title.
My bad gang. I had a lot of that. All right, you got the next one.
Yep, Penn State mollywopped the heck out of Villanova, 52-6. Drew Aller, 209 and a touchdown. And another near flawless effort, I thought, from Penn State's defense. Villanova first year doing big-time games like this one. I expected nothing less of the Wildcats.
Yeah, Penn State, what a elite out of conference schedule, man. Good thing the Big Ten plays one more
Proud of you.
conference game.
Proud of you, James.
Good.
Hey, James,
Good.
proud of you.
Good thing the Penn State and the Big Ten play one extra conference game because, man, that out of conference schedule for Penn State this year was brutal. FIU last week in Villanova, who nobody even knows they have a football team.
They just went D1.
Impressive, man. Impressive.
Shout out the Wildcats.
Impressive. We already talked about this one. Florida LSU, number 3 LSU knocked out Florida 20-10. Offense got a wakey, eggs and bakey, but you don't need the offense to do anything when that defense is cooking like that.
Number 4 Oregon went to Northwestern, which stadium beautiful. Just wanted to note that. Big game, obviously, from Dante Moore, 178 yards through the air, 94 rushing yards on the ground for De'Aaron Hill Jr. I thought it was a good win for Oregon and Dan Lanning.
Northwestern covered though. Covered though.
They did. That was the big news.
South Florida, Miami. Number 5 Miami. Miami was 49-12. We already talked about it, so let's just skip that one. But yeah.
Georgia, Tennessee, same deal. Elga beat the tar out of Old Smoky.
I just realized by you giving me odds this week, I have to talk about UTEP and Texas. Number 7 Texas beats UTEP 27-10. Yeah. Simply get better. Arch Manning. I don't know what, dude. I don't know what. Whoa, guys. Whoa.
Oh, brother.
Okay.
Whoa. Now you got too much dip on you.
I was blessed, right? I got a box area, a little reserved area. I had to tell those people I don't want to watch the Texas game. Turn that off. Killing my vibes, man. Give me Georgia, Tennessee, okay? Because ain't nobody want to watch that Texas game. That offense, whoo. And Stark, take some damn accountability because it's also a Stark issue. It's a full offensive issue. That run game's got to get everything's got to get better offensively for Texas. They have a national championship level defense. They need to play like it. But also shout out UTEP. I don't want to undermine this. They are the Miners. Scotty Walden, one of the best young coaches in college football, was at Austin Peay. Did some really impressive things there. For UTEP to go to UT, he preached about it all week. He thought it was really cool. UTEP. It's in El Paso in Texas, obviously an affiliate school of Texas. So shout out UTEP. They went and competed, and that's a lot of the UTEP guys that are on that team are underrated Texas guys that didn't get enough love. And their dream school was probably Texas, and they didn't get an offer. And for them to go to Austin was probably really honorable for them. Really cool experience, and they went and they showed out. So just big shout out to the UTEP Miners. They walked away with a loss, but in my opinion, they won by a lot because they made Texas's offense look really, really bad.
Lone Star boys, man, they come with an extra toughness. Obviously, number 8 Notre Dame got beat by number 16 Texas A&M. Big game from Marcel Reed. We talked about it. Mike Elko, huge win in South Bend.
Yeah, the Fighting Illini just keep rolling. They win 38-0. Luke Alty teed up. He actually threw some touchdown passes this week, 3 of them to be exact. So things you love to see. Need Luke Alty to keep playing that well because I have Illinois ranked pretty high. So I got faith in that offense. Just need that offense to stay wakey, eggs and bakey.
10 on a bye, 11 we covered, 12 we covered. Let's head to 13, Oklahoma at Temple.
That's an odd number. Yeah. Number 13, Oklahoma.
Yep.
Sorry. Yeah. I'm not a math. I haven't taken a math class since freshman year of college. I'm now graduated. Been a while. Number 13, Oklahoma takes down Temple 42-3. I saw a really cool storyline. Somebody posted about why they were playing Temple, and because I guess Oklahoma scheduled this matchup when Matt Rule was at Temple and it was actually getting some steam. So Oklahoma did it also because they wanted their fans that are in the northeast part of the state to be able to have a game to go to instead of having to travel to Norman. It's actually really cool thought process on why they play Temple, and Temple's not a horrible team at all. 42-3 win. John Mateer, Moxie, Swagger, him, and he didn't even play. And people are gonna say he didn't play great because he had a pick or whatever. But he played really, really good. Don't stat watch. He made some damn plays.
14 Iowa State. A little scare. They survived a little rock fight with Rocco Beck. He threw for 265, had a passing touchdown and rushing touchdowns as well. But they escaped Arkansas State with close win, 24-16. I mean, kind of just a nasty dogfight game. A lot of penalties. I know the Arkansas State Red Wolves are going to be up in arms because there's a lot of penalties, holding calls, a little excessive, inexcusable kind of things there. So I didn't say it, but I think the Arkansas State people might be a little bit upset on that one.
Yeah, let me just say one thing. I think it's same old Iowa State. Iowa State fans, hate to break your heart. It's same old Iowa State. I've talked to one of my good buddies, a massive diehard Iowa State fan. You guys will consistently be ranked about 15 to 20 all year. You won't win the Big 12. You won't make the college football playoff, but you'll go to a bowl game. I don't know. That offense is just not fun to watch. Shout out. Next up, we got number 17, Ole Miss and Arkansas. Hell of a game. Taylor Green played really good. Great win with the backup quarterback, Trinidad, I think his name. I don't want to be wrong. Trinidad? Yeah, Trinidad Chambers had himself a very, very good game. Didn't really get to watch much of that game, but scoreboard watching it, Lane Kiffin cooked, Trinidad cooked, and yeah, just shout out Arkansas. But Taylor Green still had a hell of a game, and Arkansas could still make some noise in the SEC this year. It is really hard to win in Vaught Hemingway, and especially at nighttime. Just ask UGA last year.
18 Texas A&M, big win. Talked about it already multiple times. And shout out to those people. They really showed. I was really impressed by that. Real talk.
Yeah. Alabama number 19 against Wisconsin, belt to a good old IAS. But they looked really good, man. They're playing good ball again. Good for Alabama fans.
Ty Simpson, 382. I think he threw for a good game. Good game from 15 under center.
I'm stealing this one.
I was about to say, I just want to throw this one off the glass and let you catch it and just windmill it.
LeBron Lob. The Utah Utes, baby. The team. The boys. Dampier. Bunch of dogs. The boys. America's team. They people were like, oh, it's a trap game. They got to go to Wyoming. No, nobody give it a damn. They got to go to Wyoming. They went to Wyoming and put belt 31-6. Still firmly in the race to be the best Big 12 team, to make the college football playoff and to potentially win a national championship.
All right, now talk to me. Texas Tech is 21.
Yep. Oh, odd number again. Guys, not a math major. Sorry, I just went. Woo, embarrassing. Texas Tech. Baron Morton, welcome to my Heisman top 10 list, boy. Cooking with gasoline. Shout out Barrett Morton. He follows T&D. Love the guy. Absolute dog. Fun fact about him, he used NIL money to buy 150 acres of hunting land. If that ain't Texas, if that ain't Lubbock, I don't know what is, okay? Dog, he's sniping them on the hunting field, and he's sniping them on the field, okay? Dog. Baron Morton, dog. If Texas Tech is going to win the Big 12, it's going to be in his hands, and I think he can do it. And dog. Great team. Good win for Joey McGuire. Joey McGuire's got that team rolling. Lubbock's got some momentum. They're making Lubbock look cool again. So, good for Lubbock.
Number 22, Indiana. Google me. 73-0 over Indiana State. Larry Bird and his alma mater put to shame.
Yeah, good thing. Like I said, good thing the Big Ten has 9 conference games, an extra one, just because. Indiana State really hard team to play.
I laugh at
next up we got
dude.
Michigan.
I think Signetti's comedy.
Next up we've got Michigan putting the belt to CMU. A little in-state being mean. Bryce Underwood looked really good. They opened up the playbook. Biff Poggi got a little win as an interim coach, so you love to see that.
You just said Michigan 24, Auburn. Good win over South Alabama. I think they struggled a little bit, right? 31-15, not the score you want. If you're Auburn, you're on a roll. You want to beat these teams by a lot. Jeremiah Cobb, I thought was impressive again. He's the number 2 behind Damari Alston, who's still coming back from, I guess he was back, but he's still coming back from injury. Jeremiah Cobb, another 100-plus yard day. Yeah,
Auburn never wear whites at home again unless it is a massive team. Do not ever do that. That was disgusting, hideous. I never want to see it again. Why are we doing that? What was that? We're all about tradition. We won't do orange uniforms. We're going to wear white at home. Don't do that.
T&D mad. T&D mad.
No, that was, and we didn't play you wear all whites and have some swagger. Last time I watched that team wear all whites, they played at Baylor and played with some swagger. That team didn't play with swagger. That team played unmotivated, did not look good. Don't say good win, not good football for Auburn. And shout out South Alabama, they overplayed to their comp, but not good football for Auburn. Jackson Arnold played well, but the defense, secondary is way too talented, and there's too much talent on that team defensively and offensively for them to be dropping the ball the way they are, for them to be playing the way they are. They look playing uninspired football, and if they go show up that way, if they play the way they played against South Alabama and Oklahoma this weekend, they will lose by 20-plus points. So I don't know who needs to hear that at Auburn, but you guys looked horrible, okay? Just flat out. And we're at a point where their expectations are there for Auburn football again. So, yes, a 16-point win against South Alabama, unacceptable. Lastly, we've got Louisiana and 25, Mizzou. Bo Pribula continues to have fun. He's got that swag, like I said last week. They win 52-10. So just there's a little poll patrol right there for us. We did a little poll rundown, give you guys top 25. I didn't want to hear you guys complain. We added this segment so no one can be like, you didn't talk about my team. All right, if your team, tell your team to get better. Okay, we talked about all the teams in the top 25, and your team doesn't even have to be in the top 25 to get talked about. You just have to play a team in the top 25. So we really talked about 50 teams. So there's 50 fan bases should be happy in America right now.
Any more? Do you have any other games that you wanted to highlight here before we?
Snapper Noodles! Thank you so much.
We got more teams, more than 50. Count the numbers.
More than 50, actually. Okay, we got to shout out the Delaware Blue Hens first FBS win. Woo! Fire me up, baby. Gets me going. Shout out to the real USC out in Southern California. 3-0, 3-0, Lincoln Riley. That team's playing good, inspired football. And then we got to go all the way from the West Coast down back south to New Orleans, where Tulane knocked off Duke. As y'all know, I'm high on Duke. I'm also high on Tulane. I think they're still the best team in the Go 5. I think they're better than USF. I think John Summerall is going to get a massive, massive payday one day. I think it's coming kind of soon because I think he's one of the most underrated coaches in college football. And also, shout out the Iowa Hawkeyes, okay? I don't know who you played, but I saw you score 47 points, and that is mightily impressive. Good job, Hawkeyes. Proud of you guys.
Yeah,
That's all I had.
I mean, that was a great breakdown. I was a little proud of the Stanford Cardinal beating Boston College. They don't win a lot of games. Andrew Luck's doing some good things out there, sprinkling a little prairie dust, good dust on them over there. It's good stuff. All right, let's head into the next segment we got here. Let's run it down. You guys know the drill. Heading into culture check. Canyon, which program showed identity, energy, swagger, chemistry from week 2 to week 3?
A&M. They went on the road and won. I got A&M as a winner for sure of this week's culture check. A&M to be able to do something they haven't done since 1979, huge. To go to South Bend and win, huge. Sets the tone for a really special year with Mike Elko if they can keep the momentum train rolling. But I think culture check this week is just because the culture Mike Elko has reinstilled in A&M. They play hard, they play gritty, they play inspired football, unlike they played under Jimbo Fisher. And then for culture check losers this week, I've got a few, so bear with me now. Clemson. Loser right now. The culture is not good. Colorado, loser. Pick a damn quarterback. You got 3 of them. Which one are you going to pick? Pick a starter or keep with it, okay? Nah, these little, we're going to rotate quarterbacks. Oh, this guy's going to be a starter. Oh, I'm not going to announce till the game time. That doesn't work, Dion, okay? Coach, come on. You know that damn more better than that. You played ball for way too long, Coach. Come on, let's be serious here.
Let's retire the number first. Like, you got to retire the numbers.
And then lastly,
I'm joking.
Lastly, I had to take a little pause of moment of silence for this program. Kansas State.
I'll let him have it.
Kansas State, man. Avery Johnson, the most overpaid quarterback in college football history so far. And they're not good. Lost to Army last week after Army lost to an FCS school. Lost again this week to the Arizona. I guess they aren't the real Wildcats because a year that had so much hope and expectation for Kansas State. I think they were one of the top 5 favorites to win the conference, and now all their hopes and dreams are shattered. So just to the Kansas State fans out there, just offering you guys some sympathy, okay? Just giving you guys a big hug to the camera because you guys are ass! All right, that's all I got.
I love it. All right, we get the energy back. Miami, they get my positive swagger watch. Obviously, game day coming. I heard that game's hard to get student tickets already. Carson Beck, Malachi Toney, they got the mojo. The energy is flowing. The Hurricanes is back. For the negative, I got Virginia Tech, Old Dominion whooped up on you, 45-26. And I'm saying it now, and I'm not going to say it again. No more Sandstorm until you win. I'm sick of it. Segment 2 here, going to the Swagger Watch. Who is a player from week 3 that stood out to you and that you think could continue to have a very star-studded year?
Oh boy, do I have one for you. Shout out Ty Simpson. Dog, okay, sometimes you got to trust the process. Ty Simpson has such a great story. And a lot of guys could take notes in today's modern era of college football with how quickly some of these players hop in the portal and move programs. Ty Simpson waited his turn, did what he had to do, threw 24, 29, 382 yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, dude, his QBR was an 89.8. Obviously, that's not as high as you think it would be because it kind of goes into like metrics of like how your team won the game. I'm not going to explain QBR to you right now, but dude, Ty Simpson had himself a damn day. Shout out Ryan Williams. He also had himself a day. And then Swagger Watch 2, I'd be doing a favor if I did not shout out my Utah Utes once again because Swagger, Devin Dampier, Swagger, that defense, Kyle Whittingham, Coach Whittingham knows what he's doing. Swagger, and I had something else here, but I can't read my own handwriting, so looks like I'm not going to say it.
That's okay. That's a problem all of us good people have out there. I think you got a Batman and Robin thing going on here in Columbia, Missouri. I'm going to go my Swagger Watch with Missouri running back Ahmad Hardy. 462 yards, 5 touchdowns on the year already. 250 of those yards, had 3 of those scores came on 22 rushing attempts, 11.5 yards a carry, and a 52-10 win over the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana. Tigers move to 3-0. Ahmad Hardy gets my Swagger Watch of the week. All right, heading into the next one. The flip, not flop. We're going to flip it this week, right? We're going to tell us your predictions. Tell us which ones you were right about this week.
Georgia Tech, hit on that one.
Wramblin Wreck,
was gonna beat
baby.
Clemson. That was easy. Miami dismantling USF, had that one money on the money. UGA winning was on the money there. And then another flip prediction I was damn right about, talking about from week 1 to the Clemson game, was that LSU's defense and Blake Baker year 2 was going to be special. And that defense looks special. So I think that was definitely a flip for me, because I told you guys that defense was going to be good. And you're like, oh, Clemson's offense just bad. No, dude, that defense is just really good. And Blake Baker is the best, I would say arguably probably the best defensive coordinator in college football right now. If not, no, he's the best right now. No
yeah,
debate.
I would argue best too. I had 4 winners this week, and it was honestly the biggest 4 winners of the week. Predicted the Georgia Tech win over Clemson, just like you did. Georgia over Tennessee. I know that was a tight one. I picked Georgia. Vanderbilt over South Carolina. I saw Pavia and his mother coming from a mile away. And I also, despite the shirt, which I'm paying homage to the great hospitality that South Bend gave us this weekend, I did actually pick Texas A&M to beat Notre Dame. The only loss I had of the week was USF. The Bulls, they didn't see as much red as I thought they would. It was a tough seed.
I'm a little disappointed with you that pick. I didn't know you did that. That
No,
must
I
have been
did.
The family,
That
must have been the family pick'em, like the family pick'em.
I
right
told
there
you,
where
I was
take it
fueling the fire, and
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
not
care
good.
who was in the way. Sometimes it's okay to do that, I feel
I
like.
told you it was an electric powered car, and they run out of battery, and they didn't have a supercharger. They had a regular charger, and sometimes that doesn't get the job done. So
Well, guess what? I'm looking for a place to stay, and I hopped on the USF bandwagon. And I went with it.
Okay.
All right, we're going into
Okay.
the next, the best 4 games. The best games for week 4 on the schedule. Let's go into it. We'll run through it quick. Number 17, Texas Tech, who you just said on the up and ups, against the team that you also been showing love to, the 16th ranked Utah Utes.
This is my game of the week. This is my game of the week. This is my game of the week. I'll be locked in, baby. I'll be dialed up. It's going to be rocking in Utah. Wish I could be at this game. I will not be at this game because I will be in Norman, Oklahoma this week.
Number 22, Auburn, at number 11, Oklahoma. My guy will be there.
Boom. I'll be there this week, but that'll be a hell of a game, and I'll be dialed up on it. It's at 11, so I'll get some tailgating done out in Norman, Oklahoma. Get some bevs flowing as I'm watching Devin Dampier go put a little dampier on that Texas Tech defense, maybe a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I can't be biased this one. I love both programs, love both coaches. That's going to be a damn good game, though. Definitely lock in. Tickets going as low as $132. That one ain't going to be cheap, though. If you want to go, you better get that ticket because they ain't going to drop much.
All right, now, another game I think that people should watch out for, and it could be a season-influencing win here. Number 21, Michigan, at Nebraska. Nebraska, obviously, huge wins over week schedules over the last couple of weeks. A week 1 win against Cincinnati. Michigan lost to Oklahoma, coming off a win this week. I think that could be an interesting one down there in Nebraska in Dylan Raiola's house. The house that Dylan Raiola built. All right. Yep. What do you got?
I got one. Tulane Ole Miss. Keep an eye on it. John Summer, I've been telling you all the time about how underrated he is. Spread's at 11.5. Watch that one. Keep an eye on that one. Don't know what Ole Miss going to do at quarterback this year. Don't know if they're going to keep Trinidad. Don't know what they're going to do there with Chambliss. So keep an eye on that one. It is in Hemingway, and it's only at 2:30. It's not at nighttime. So keep an eye on that one. And then we already talked Auburn, Oklahoma. Spread 6.5. Also keep an eye on that one. That game's going to be over. The total over-under on that is 48.5 points as well as sitting at now. Which I would just like to point out, if we go look at the podcast from last week, how much those spreads moved. Because when we made the podcast on Sunday, the Clemson spread was at 8 points in favor of Clemson, and it dropped all the way down to 3.5, I think, 2.5. So that's why we say keep an eye on them. Like Florida, Miami's only 7.5 points. And it would not shock me if Florida goes and beats Miami, just in that weird fashion. It's just college football chaos. There is a matchup, though, that we need to highlight, and I have to highlight for the sake of T&D.
Talk to me, Goose.
Because if somebody loses this game, I'm going to get a world of you don't know ball comments. Illinois and Indiana.
I knew you were going to say
it. I don't have Indiana ranked. I might rank them this week. I don't know. I don't know what I'm ranking, really. They've been playing.
Indiana State, proud of you.
Yeah, the Sycamores. Illinois, really high on them. I need them to show up. Please. Please. Luke Altmaier, I gave you top 10 quarterback in college football worthiness to start the year. Illinois, my ball knowledge rides on you guys. Okay, win. Offense, wake up. What did you guys should have lost to, just, if nobody's told you this yet, Illinois, I'm going to tell you. You should have lost to Duke. You got bailed out by turnovers and you didn't lose. But your offense cannot play like that against Indiana. It's going to be at nighttime. Wakey, eggs and bacon. We don't have time for this. Luke Altmaier, show up, dude. Come on, guys. Offense, wakey. I texted the Illinois kicker that exact thing. He follows T&D. Shout out David. Don't know his last name. I got CTE. But I told him to like that offense, wakey. And Luke Altmaier threw for 3 touchdowns this week. So maybe it is waking up. But I need it to wake up because my ball knowledge is on the line. And I like to think I know ball. Because if you guys lose this game, my returning starters theory, I mean, I may as well just throw that shit out of the book for the next following years. Because I'm hyping teams up for returning starters. But if your returning starter is going to be garbanzo beans, then we got a problem. So, yeah, that's what I had.
A lot of beans on today's show. I actually kind of like that little garbanzo bean. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Throwing it in there. All right, a team that needs to stop eating beans and start playing football, South Carolina, goes to number 23, Missouri. Obviously, we talked about some studs on the Missouri Tigers this week. I think that should be a good one, despite South Carolina losing last week to Vanderbilt in dominant fashion. I hope they can get Lenore Sellers back. We'll see on that. I'm not sure what the update is there, but hopefully they've got him under center because that could be a really, really good one. Florida at number 4, Miami. Obviously, Miami's been tested a couple of times. I think they'll get another one this week with a lackluster Florida team. Illinois at Indiana, you mentioned that one. And then lastly, I think Michigan State at number 25, USC. I know there's not a ton on the line there. I just think it'll be a good one. It's so weird to me that there's USC's in the Big Ten. I think that's what makes this game interesting is that they
15.5 point spread and USC covers, by the way. It's not going to be an interesting game. USC is going to win by a lot, I think. So there's my take. So I can tell you that is a flip, not a flop next week because that spread's high for a reason. Vegas thinks that they want you to take Michigan State here. So I'm giving you words of advice. Don't take Michigan State. Michigan State should have lost to Boston College, and Boston College at home at nighttime, and Boston College, like you just said, lost to Stanford. So take USC to win this game by at least 16 points.
That's a smart man's picks right there. I'm excited for you guys to see what Kane's got out there at Oklahoma, Auburn, 2 teams that we've been pretty locked in on covering this year in those games. So that'll be a really good matchup, I think. Plenty of good games, a lot to look forward to, and a lot to recap in this one as we just did for an hour and 20 minutes. You guys got the full Week 3 recap. A lot of great games, a lot of great breakdowns. Kane, what'd you think? Did you have fun on this one? I had a ball.
Yeah, it was okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to have a new guest on the show next week. And
No, in all seriousness, I had a great time. We're doing this much later than we usually do it, and it's getting close to my bedtime, so I'm starting a little
It
sassy.
is past mine.
Yeah, I got a sleep schedule nowadays, y'all. Like, I got to sleep. It's weird. I'm getting older. If I don't have a sleep schedule and a routine, stuff just don't go right for me. So I got a sleep schedule. I got to go to bed. I had church at 8 a.m. this morning. And like I said, I had myself a time at UFC last night. I probably consumed about 12 beers in 4 hours.
That's a lot of beers.
Probably didn't need to do that. But then guess what I did this morning?
What was that?
Guess what I did this morning? That alarm went off at 6. That alarm went off at 6:40. Okay, and no, actually, the alarm didn't even go off. The circadian rhythm went off because I have a grown man sleep schedule. I didn't sleep through it. I was at church at 8 a.m. and then you know what I did after church at 8 a.m. I went to the gym. Okay, we had ourselves a day, but it's bedtime. I'm tired. I'm ready to go home. I am home. I'm ready to put my head on the pillow. I still gotta go eat dinner. Okay, but what a podcast, what a time. Had a ball talking ball. Had a ball talking ball.
I love that.
I need to put that like on a shirt. I had a ball.
Might be the title of the video.
I had a ball talking ball. Wow, that's amazing. I had a ball talk. I'm writing that down. Write that down.
I love it. You got anything else before we jump off this thing? Call it a week.
I had a ball talking ball.
Really?
And
I didn't even know.
Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in if you watched. Didn't promote the last one. A lot was happening in the world. And but on here we keep it strictly sports, and you guys love that. I love that. That's what I do on T&D. I post content to make you guys happy, and my content is sports content. Okay? It might not always be college football, but it is gonna stay sports, and it's always gonna stay that way, never shifting, never changing. But I might maybe potentially be posting a little bit more about Jesus because my pastor called me out for it today, and I felt very obligated that I do have a platform that I need to use to be able to spread the word a little bit more often. So I'm gonna try that. And no shame in my game in doing it. I think God's great, amazing, all good. God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. All right.
Amen to that, brother. If I learned one thing, it's at Notre Dame this weekend, it's certainly that. Much love to spread. Much love for you guys listening to this podcast right here. You know where you can find it: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, with clips on any social media platform that you reside, and waste all of your time doom scrolling on. It'll be there. Believe it. We'll see you guys next time. That's been this episode of Invincible. Alongside Canyon Sheeran, my name is Vince Wolfram. We'll see you guys next week.